Jews had been living in North Africa since the time of the Punic Wars, 264 to 146 BCE, but their presence in Carthage itself is not known until the 1st century BCE. The Jewish population of Carthage had grown significantly by the 5th century CE, when the city was under Roman rule. Jews were allowed to practice their religion and held various positions in government and commerce, although they were barred from holding high positions in the military. Jews were also prominent in the intellectual and cultural life of the city. In 533, the Byzantine Empire reconquered Carthage, and the Jewish population experienced a period of prosperity and growth. Jews held prominent positions in government, commerce, and the legal system, and several schools of Jewish thought flourished. However, this period of prosperity and growth was short-lived. In 698, the Muslim army of Uqba ibn Nafi captured Carthage, and the city became part of the Umayyad Caliphate. Jews were tolerated in the new Islamic state, but they were also subject to heavy taxation and discrimination. In the 11th century, Jews were expelled from the city and their properties were confiscated. Many of them fled to nearby Christian-controlled cities, such as Palermo and Messina in Sicily, where they found a more tolerant environment. In the 13th century, the Hafsid dynasty took control of the city, and Jews were allowed to return to Carthage. Jews were able to practice their religion openly and the community began to grow again. However, in the late 16th century, this period of relative tolerance ended and the Jewish population of Carthage once again experienced periods of persecution and discrimination. In the early 19th century, the Jews of Carthage faced increasing restrictions and anti-Semitism. In 1871, the French invaded the city and declared it a protectorate. The Jewish population experienced a period of freedom and growth during this time, and by the early 20th century, the Jewish community of Carthage had grown to around 5,000 people. With the end of French rule in 1956, the Jews of Carthage once again faced increasing restrictions and discrimination. Many Jews left the city, and by the 1970s, the Jewish population had dwindled to a few hundred. Today, the Jews of Carthage are a small but vibrant community, and they remain an important part of the city's history.